What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for joining us After Dark yet again for another episode. We're going to be reacting today. Today we got... I replaced my 9 to 5 in a weekend to prove it's not luck. So we're going to see what she's talking about. Hopefully we get some good insight and I'll be able to give you guys some my thoughts on this whole video. So we'll go ahead and check it out and see what's going on.
Is it possible to start a business that'll replace your salary entirely in one day? In this video, we're going to find out. My goal
day,
is to
she
make
said.
$384 a day.
That's money. 384 is money. I think that's like 10K a month or something. I don't know. I could be wrong.
And another one down. Another one bites the dust. Why? Because if you have a $100,000 a year job, that means that for 260 days, you earned $384. I'm going to replace your salary of $100K today, and we're going to do it live.
You more than replacing my salary with $100K.
Hours of searching for the best business. The business is, drum roll please, power washing. First, we're going to figure out.
Oh, we watched that video. We watched the power washing video. Look, if y'all haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch it. It's a great video. I'll link it in the description.
My price. We're going to do market research. Then we're going to figure out what the plan is. What are we actually going to sell and do, and how do we make money? Third, we're going to actually go do the thing. We're going to do the project that we get paid to do. Finally, we're going to power up. So how do we get to the next level and get paid as much as humanly possible? Let's do this. Timer starts now. Step one, here's where I'd start. Power washing companies located in Austin, Texas. I want to pull up a list of these bad boys because I'm going to call them and ask them how they quote actual services that I want to quote. See if they answer the phone. What's the over under that these bad boys do not even
Okay,
answer?
so we're going directly to the source. We're getting information directly.
A mailbox belonging to 512.
This is too good. You guys, this tells me this is a great market. These guys have a full mailbox. They're the #1 listing on Google. Let's go to the next one and see what happens. They should answer faster.
Pressure washing this.
I was wondering
No
if I
promotion.
could get a quote for pressure washing my driveway in Austin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
This is a cheat code with starting a business. Do some market research. Could be a quick ChatGPT search. Could be a call. I ended up finding out this company would charge between $175 and $250 to clean a 2-car garage driveway with the sidewalks included. Okay, take care. Bye.
Thank you.
First of all, amazing accent. I can't compete with that bad boy in Texas. Smooth like butter, not fast though. We're going to be way faster. In fact, it's the 27th. We're going to be so fast we do same day. And also, 175 is pretty cheap, but you can tell he wanted to upsell us, which is what we're going to do. I don't think we're going to call anybody else. We got this. I'm going to have
let's
a
talk.
3-tiered pricing model. You never want to have just one price. You typically want to have 3 in a business. So, why do we want 3? Because we humans usually like to take the middle price point. If we have a high price point, that's called...
I've heard this before. I've heard this broken down in the movie theater sales approach. I heard this broken down in the movie theater sales approach. They were basically saying how if you have a small popcorn, medium popcorn, large popcorn, you make the small popcorn so cheap that it feels like, okay, I can afford the medium popcorn, but you make the large popcorn so expensive that it feels kind of outrageous to get. So you end up getting the medium popcorn every time, but the medium popcorn is a good price. That sounds real like stupid, but like it genuinely makes sense. It genuinely makes sense.
Called anchoring, which means that they see the value here. They don't want to go cheap, so they take the middle. Any small business that doesn't have this, you're missing out on some cash. So we already know at the low end is 100.
I gotta incorporate this. Hold on, let me get a drink. Baby, I don't want to clear mine. All right, back to it.
$75 because that's what the guy was going to charge me for my 20 by 40 standard driveway. What I actually want is something in the middle that people are going to buy. And I told you before that I want it to be around $300. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put something up here that's like $495. This is the premium, the fancy, the extra. And in the middle, we're going to have something that is $275. The #1 thing I tell entrepreneurs, my money rule is find God, because this shit's hard. Go to the gym, because you're going to need to be able to handle a little grit, and raise your prices now. Anytime you start a new business, you got to understand the market. You got to understand your competitive
I
landscape.
love the way she does her videos. If y'all don't know, I just found her channel recently. The way she formats and the way she gives knowledge, this is the kind of goal of how I want to format my videos in the future, realistically. So she's a big inspiration right now.
You got to understand your customers. Slight issue, I have never actually paid for pressure washing. It's not just the type of person that buys pressure washing that's important, it's what's called a persona. So finding the human that is going to want your service at the exact trigger point, or what I call the nail and foot moment. You could have a business where you sell water. And if you're next to a drinking fountain, that's not a very good business.
Guys, this is with any business, with absolutely any business. Yeah, see, okay, I clearly can't use my hotkeys. I can't use my hotkeys. So look, with any business, right? What you want to do is you want to have a strong understanding of who you're selling to. You have to be very specific with this. So let's say you're selling, say you're a fitness influencer, right? You can't just be selling fitness products. Who are you selling fitness products to? Are you selling fitness products to older individuals who are trying to stay healthy? Are you selling? You gotta be very specific to really understand your market, because it helps you narrow down and strategize on your advertising and basically your whole approach to getting the clientele in the first place. So if you have a super broad market, right? So let's say you're designing clothing, right? If you are saying, all right, I'm designing clothes for people who like to dress. All right, well, that doesn't narrow it down enough for you to understand who you need to market to. If you say I'm selling clothes for young skateboarders with a love for an active lifestyle, then boom, you narrowed it down so you can understand who you're trying to sell to and adjust your marketing based on that. So she made a great point right here.
Everybody's outside for the first time in Austin, Texas. They're going to want some pressure washing. Let's find that nail and foot customer. Now you got to know who you're going to target. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go after painters. Maybe the idea is that they need the place to be cleaned before they can paint. The second one we're going to go after, realtors. If you are selling a house, you need that bad boy to look good. And sometimes even when you are buying a house, you need to come in and have somebody clean it up before you get in, especially in Texas, all these spiders everywhere. Ooh. And lastly,
For sure.
moms. This is going to be our biggest target, I think. They're home during the day. We're in the middle of the week. So this group, I think, is going to be our best target. Let's see if I'm right. Whew. We are motoring already. Okay, so typically at this point, I would call a competitor.
Oh, she got a hell of
in
a
different
book
market
collection.
that wouldn't be immediately competitive, and I would steal their homework. You know, I'd ask them, "Hey, how do you do this? What's going on?" And because
that
they're
is
not
a hell of a book collection.
direct competitor, you'll be shocked how many times they will tell you. Now, the interesting part about today's day and age is you don't actually need to make a phone call anymore because there's this thing called Reddit. The power washing subsegment is called power washing porn, naturally. Now, what's fascinating here is if you look here, they have a ton of things you need to know on starting a power washing business. In fact, they have flow charts on how to actually do power washing. They have how to sell clients. They have how a power washer that's good works, how a bad one works. Also,
Okay, so she found a good community where she actually could get some information. All right.
they have a bunch of people that you can reach out to individually and say, hey, can I get your advice? So that's what we're gonna do right now. Since I'm trying to start this business in a weekend, I needed to make sure what I was choosing to do is quote unquote easy. There are more than enough places to find how-to content, but I can't rabbit hole for that long because we're on the clock. Let's go.
Boom, I like that she said that. So
To find how-to.
this is a ridiculous challenge for anybody to try because you shouldn't put a time limit on your success. But the fact that she is challenging herself to do it in a weekend is kind of forcing her to make very strategic decisions when it comes to everything, how she learns about it. And this is something she's never done before, so she has to be very strategic with her time because she's limited on time.
Do content. But
So just even the approach of going to Reddit and finding a community is huge, rather than, because you could spend hours on YouTube because their whole goal is to make money and, you know, monetize whatever. So they're going to stretch it out. But when you go to a niche down community, that's literally all they talk about is the topic. So you could get knowledge a lot quicker.
I can't rabbit hole for that long because we're on the clock.
So I guess she got the price down.
Let's go.
Now she needs to formulate a plan.
Step two. Let's figure out how much money exactly we need to make. You gonna help? Let's do a spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets. On this left-hand side, we've got revenue, products 1 through 3. We've got the costs for each of them, $175 to $495. We've got the quantity of each of them, so how many are we gonna sell? And then we've got the total, how much money do we make if we sell this quantity? Let's say that we only sell 2 of our mid-tier products and 2 of our high-tier products. That means we make $1,540. Remember, we have the cost of like $680 because we're gonna buy all that stuff, which means we make about $860 if we sell 4 products. That's amazing. But let's say we only sell, I don't know, 3 of our mid-tier products. We still make $145. Now, how do we get to our perfect number, which is 380?
I'm gonna learn how to make a spreadsheet like this. I need to watch a video on this because that would actually be pretty useful.
Basically need to sell 4 number 2 products and we make $420. So that's more than $100,000 a year. And also, check this out. So let's say we do the exact same thing, but instead of buying, we rent for $330. That means we only need to sell 3 of those mid-tier products. We've made $495, and we are on our way to a $100,000 a year business with power washing in 1 weekend. So what's the plan here? Here's what I'm thinking. We are first of all gonna use my favorite strategy, which is the foot in the door strategy. One way to get your foot in the door, subscribe to this channel. We're gonna get in front of these people with a small product, like $175, and try to upsell them to $495. It's way easier to get a big yes if you've already gotten a small yes. Second.
Okay, boom. That's a good tip right there. So what she's saying is, rather than trying to sell someone on the full service, she's going to get someone to agree to even let her do something. This could be, it could be anything, but something small that just allows her to get on the property to then push for the bigger sale. So get your foot in the door essentially. So I guess in my niche, if as a graphic designer, an example of that might be, instead of charging somebody and trying to get somebody to commit to purchasing a full brand identity, maybe asking if they'd want a sketch of a logo or something like that, a logo concept. So get your foot in the door.
Sell them to $495. It's way easier to get a big yes if you've already gotten a small yes. Second, I'm gonna go to residential, not commercial, because residential is easier to sell, even though they're a lot smaller, there's less gatekeepers, nobody's really in charge. Plus spending like $100, $500, much easier to get somebody to say yes to instead of 1,000. We're gonna go through a bunch of other strategies in the next part about how to get every single one of your clients. One other thing, important money rule. Sell things to rich people. They pay more and they got a lot more cash. So we're gonna go to a fancy neighborhood, also because it's Texas and I do not want to get shot. All right, one shot I do want to take is I need a website. I don't want to do it right away, but as soon as this gets rolling, I don't want to spend hours learning how to build a website. Time is money, baby. We've only got 1 day to start a profitable business. So I'm actually going to use Hostinger to build our pressure washing website. Here's what I would do. I would go through the onboarding process and select the AI website builder so that I can get their special services.
There's got to be an ad.
I would use the website creation tool, super easy on the AI website builder. All you do is enter your brand name, select website type, describe your business, customize your website, and then you can create something specifically for you to customize using AI and their services. Really, really cool. Even a heat mapper. Maybe you could throw on an AI logo for $0. Amazing. That's why I use the service. So you can go to hostinger.com/Cody10, use Cody10 at checkout, choose your preferred business plan, create your account, and then boom, you've got a website. Now let's build this thing. You can do all this and more at hostinger.com/Cody10. Step 3. Now it's time to get door knocking and cold calling to see if we can make any money. But first, money rule. Dress like a pro, get paid like a pro. And if you guys don't just have one of these hanging around, turns out you can buy them for $36 on Amazon, throw a little hat on there, and you become professional. But now, let's make some phone calls, because the step 1 that's the easiest is go to your buddies and have them buy things from you. I'm gonna call some friends and see if I can get them to buy things from me.
Hi, this is I can't come to the phone right now.
Let's call Vanessa now and see what she says. Hey Vanessa, it's Cody, what's going on?
Hi.
Hey, quick question. We just started this new pressure washing and home services business, and I know you have like an Airbnb. I was wondering if you have any like dirty outside areas we could come and pressure wash, because that thing looks amazing, but maybe spruce.
Great target. She chose a great target. With the Airbnb market, definitely gonna want to keep it looking nice.
Have any like dirt?
to grow
dirty
sales.
outside areas we could come and pressure wash? Because that thing looks amazing, but maybe spruce it up for the summer?
Oh man, we have the perfect spot. It's pollen, just like grime, and we need it to look really good for our listings for the summer and the
Boom, needed to look good for the listing. So this is already a great client find,
fall.
regardless of
Okay,
if they're friends
here's
or
what I'm
not.
thinking. Typically, we're trying to charge people like $300 for pressure washing, but because you'll be one of my first friends and fam discounts, I'm trying to make sure that I collect money even from my friends, so I have a real business, not a hobby. Can I charge you $175 instead of $300 and I'll pressure wash all of it?
Yeah, that's great. That works for me.
All right, amazing. I will hit you up and schedule to come by later today.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Let's go.
First sale, success. $175 from a bud. I think you'll be surprised how many of your friends, if you say this line, I've promised myself that I'm gonna actually charge my friends for things, so it's a real business, not a hobby. Do you mind if I charge you half price? They will say yes. They're a dick if they don't. This is a good text.
Gotta use what you got,
Wait,
man.
this is a great text. She says, you're also welcome to have me like sign up for monthly to streamline all my properties, because she owns a bunch of Airbnbs, and give her a bulk discount. I think now we should call a realtor that I've bought a house from before. So basically we're going in concentric circles. We're starting with people that I know even a little bit, and we're going out to people that I don't know at all.
Hey, Cody.
Hey, Andres, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Doing good. I have the most random request of all time. If you didn't know me at all, and you're being super, super honest, how often do you need pressure washing or window cleaning for your new houses?
To be frank with you, like pressure washing, not that often.
Interesting. So we'll see. He said he's going to go and send it around to all of his people, but it sounds like realtors might not be the play. It might be more individuals.
And guess what? You would only figured out that information, and you would only learn that from trying it. You'd only learn that from trying it. So it's important that she actually gave it a shot to even ask in the first place, because if not, she wouldn't have known that information. So now she can niche it down. She can understand, all right, these are the people that say yes. These are the people that don't say yes as often. So I no longer have to waste my time.
Hey, Greg, how's it going? It's Cody. Hey, Justin. Hey, Lisa, how's
Hey,
it going?
what
It's
are you
Cody.
eating?
Hey, Sam. At this point, I have $175, but I started to get nervous that I wasn't going to have time to make $384. But then I pulled a hat trick, and I had to make a special call to Steven, the owner of Pink's Cleaning.
Hello?
Hey, quick question for you. If theoretically I had leads and I was to call Pink's, let's say, for client leads in their area, would you pay somebody for leads?
Yeah, you're saying like for customers?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
How much would you pay for a lead?
Yep. For P, lead cost right now is like 70 or 80.
Okay, sick. So you'd
Like
pay
to
me
get-
70 or 80 bucks if I had like a
So
verified.
that's our cost for a booked appointment. So like a lead's like 10 or 12 bucks, but to get them actually scheduled, I think it's around 70.
Okay, so 12 bucks if it's just a lead, but if it's scheduled, ready to go, 70 bucks.
Yeah, 70, 80 bucks, yeah.
All right, not too shabby. Thanks, man. Actually, we had a ton of success with friends, which is wild. It took a lot of phone calls to actually get one person to agree to it. But we're actually not going to count the monthly plan, because you people might be like, well, I don't have a rich friend that has a bunch of houses, so we're not even going to count it, although that actually is what happened. The next thing is we'll see what happens over the course of the day. I just put a bunch of texts out. I bet we get a few of them to respond to us. In case you have no friends, no family,
Damn.
you know no one, you work with nobody, and you only want to do door knocking, we're going to do door knocking, and we're still going to create a $100,000 business a year. Let's do this.
See, I love her channel, man.
Ooh. It says no soliciting on the door. It also says no soliciting, don't make it weird. All right, if I was a pro, I definitely would have had a business card to leave in the door, but I'm not that pro yet. No humans.
Boom. That was literally live adjustment. A live adjustment.
All right, if I was a pro, I definitely would have had a business card to leave in the door, but I'm not that.
So now she could plan her next move and her next investment just based off going out there and trying stuff. Now she understands what she needs to do next.
Pro yet. No humans. Another one bites the dust. Oof, time's running out here. You gotta get after it. Instant panic. Instant panic. Hi, gato. Hey, how's it going? I'm Cody. I actually live in the neighborhood. And we just started a pressure washing business. And so since we're already cleaning a bunch of houses in the neighborhood, we thought we'd come to yours. I kind of noticed maybe your driveway needed a little pressure washing. And because we're new to the game and you're a neighbor, we were thinking usually we charge something like $4.95 for this. It's a long driveway if you're gonna go all the way back. But since you're in the neighborhood, something like $2.75. And then we can schedule you today. I'll put it in here and we take payment when we actually deliver the service.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a great deal. I think we'd be interested in that.
Deal.
Oh, she got money. She got money. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, $2.75, I guess don't really sound too bad, to be real with you.
Okay, let me get some details from you. It's a sale. Okay, here's the small issue, which is that I was supposed to sell her the $4.95 offer. I totally freaked out. I only sold her the $2.75, but that's okay. That's probably more than we need, but now we got to go knock on some more doors. Whew. Hello. How are you? Great. By the way, we're running around the neighborhood because we're pressure washing one of the neighbors. No? Okay.
I felt with the fit,
well,
though.
thank you. Another thing I just realized about this neighborhood, I don't know if it's nice enough. A lot of old houses. I think we want to go with those that are a little bit nicer.
Dude, she wanted nice and she found it.
Another one down. She said we could actually go in the back and check it out because I think we might be able to do an upsell here. There's more work than I thought that needed to be done. Right here, all this fence redone so it looks nice. I think we should.
So did
try
she
for
buy
that.
the equipment yet?
No brainer for that back fence. They probably didn't want to paint it like they did here, but we can clean that up so that fence looks like new. The pool actually looks pretty good. Probably just to be nice though, we do the edges. And this. By the way, this place is sick. Look at this. Greetings from ATX. So basically here, we can do the fences. We can clean up black paint. Obviously, really, really dirty, gets easily dirty here. And I think this is a house we could charge $4.95 for. If I wanted to double or triple this, you have to have upsell services. I think like window cleaning is big, gutters for all of these because nobody wants to do that. And here in Texas, as you can kind of tell from all these houses, there's trees all around. Doesn't look like as many people need pressure washing as they do just cleaning shit up.
Yep.
Step 4. Now it's time to
Adding services is a good idea for any business. Whenever you can up your services, and this is with any niche, you could be a pressure washer, you could be landscaping. You could, when you start off in landscaping, you might only do trimming bushes or cutting grass. You might start off with cutting grass, then you go boom, add trimming bushes. You might you could add anything.
actually do the job.
I don't know
an
much about
expert,
landscaping,
maybe a
but
PhD level in pressure washing now. Why? YouTube University, baby. We're gonna go buy it right now and then see how much money we made compared to what we're gonna have to
so
spend.
she
I wanted to
actually
make sure
went
my
for the
downside
sales
and risk is
before even
low.
buying the
And
equipment.
after seeing the prices of a pressure washer, I decided to look at renting instead of buying. We're gonna get the heavy duty one. $70 for 4 hours. Okay, so the total we're looking at here for the two of them is $100 for the top of the line one for 24 hours and $20 for the top unit. So we're
That's
looking at
damn good.
$122 for 24 hours as opposed to $700. I'd probably start with this bad boy.
That's damn good.
That just made us fucking profitable, by the way. Money rule, BRBS. So basically when you're starting a business, you can decide how you want to do it and scale up as you go. Everybody's going to complain about in the comments why we can only do these crazy things that are the pro ways to scale any service business. I'm going to show you why I think they're wrong. First, you could borrow, right? So if we were really savvy and smart, maybe we call a local establishment, ask if we could actually just borrow their thing for a day, give them a cut of our profits. Maybe we call a friend that we think has a pressure washer, we borrow his. That would be $0. But you guys can figure that out. I thought we'd take the harder way. The harder way would be rent. We found out we could rent the equipment we need for $120 for 24 hours, so technically 2 work days. Or we could buy with at least $699 for a 3,500 PSI machine. Or if we wanted to go extra crazy, we could scale, which would mean that we rent for a monthly amount, probably about $1,000 a month, a truck that is a professional power washing truck. But when you've only sold $945 worth of product, probably don't buy the fucking truck yet. Wait until you do it. So this is BRBS. We decided to go with this route.
I fuck with this. Borrow, rent, buy, scale. I like
But
this.
you can scale from here all the way to here. Oof, we're running out of time. Okay, so we've
This just trickles down to no excuses. This just comes down to just starting, with regardless of having everything perfect. This really comes down to just starting, regardless of your circumstances.
already got the leads, we've got the money, but the next thing we got to do is actually clean
stop
the
eating that.
driveways. So I talked to a bunch of pros on Reddit, and it seems like they think that the driveways should take not that long. We're talking like 20 minutes for the driveway, maybe 20 minutes on top, because I don't know what I'm doing. Let's give me an hour per house, which means we need at least an hour per house, plus we need to get in between the 2 that we have and the 3rd one. So that's another 4 hours. So that is an 8-hour day, baby, at least, to get this done. But I think I have a different idea for how we could get money.
I'm so happy that she's even doing this, being that well, it doesn't look like she did it. I just spoiled it. But being that she's already rich.
Today without doing that additional 4 to 5 hours of work. Okay, I have this rule in business called KISS, keep it stupid simple. So for instance, one of our workshops, we had a lady from the UK. She had a $10 million business where she sold purses to luxury people. She had no employees, 2 contractors, and handled it all via WhatsApp. My point here is I think people overcomplicate getting started in a business. Don't get me wrong. That will complicate as you get along further. But people stop you from doing the thing you're supposed to do because they tell you that it's so hard and you've got to dot all these I's and cross all these T's to start, and I simply don't think that's the case. So I'm going to prove that point to you here. Here's how we could do these jobs without actually doing these jobs. It's called subcontracting or lead gen. So basically, we just got 3 really good leads. And Steven already told me that he would pay me for them. Let's see if that's true.
Hello.
Hey, so we had a productive day today, and we got 3 people to agree to dates and times for Pinks to come out. So
That's awesome.
how much money does that mean we made?
I get like $75 a lead.
Love it. Okay, sounds like a plan. I'll ship them to you right now.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, bye, Steven. All right, we got 2 options here. We can either take the $225 from Steven and not do any more work and pocket it today, or we can take the $823, which is our total revenue, minus our $122 in rentals. It's up to you. Just kidding, it's up to me. I don't feel like doing any power washing today, so I'm gonna take Steven's offer, which means that we fell slightly short of our $384 commitment, except if we did the work. Then we made basically 2.5 times that. If you want to see exactly how I would scale a pressure washing business to $4 million in annual revenue, hit this video. I broke down the exact process for you. But the point of this video today was, let me show you how I would actually do it, not just let me tell you how I would do it. And I think we did that.
What was
The
her?
lesson
What was the
today
other
is be
video?
just dumb enough to bet on yourself and just smart enough to execute.
She cooked. All right, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed that video. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right there. I think she gave us some good knowledge. I think that was a great video. I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Peace out.